In today's episode, we're going to talk about all the things that Brandon does as a financial advisor that might surprise you. We are getting out of the stocks, out of the bonds, out of all the crazy financial slogans, terms, and headache-inducing things, and we are going to talk about just life and the things that he's been helping his clients with lately. If that's of interest, stay tuned.
Sugar Daddy Podcast, yo. Learn how to make them pockets grow. Financial freedom's where we go. Smart investments, money flow.
Hey, babe, what are we talking about today?
I should be asking you that today. What have you been talking to your clients about lately?
Well, today's episode is talking about, I think people have a really hard time understanding what financial advisors, financial planners, wealth managers do, because honestly, we don't do a good job of defining it. We kind of put all of them into one bucket, and we all can actually do very different things. Mm-hmm. So purpose of this is kind of to talk about some of the things that I've been seeing and helping my clients with out recently that a lot of people maybe wouldn't think of that I actually do.
I think that's a great conversation because I 100% agree. I think people think that you are like a day trader, right? Like I have this visual of you in front of a bunch of screens, like Wolf of Wall Street style, yelling on the phone.
I am not Wolf of Wall Street. FINRA, SEC, that is not me.
No, but you know, like you have that visual of like all the TV monitors and like people screaming into the phone, and it's like buying stocks when they're down, and like, I mean, it's just like, no, you're literally having conversations with fellow millennials, Gen Xers, Gen Zers, Zillennials, whatever we want to call ourselves, each other. And you're talking about life, and you're talking about their goals, and you're talking about things that have come up that are maybe planned and exciting, like having a baby or buying a house, and then things that are unexpected, like getting in a car accident and needing a new car that you were planning on giving to your teenage daughter. And now you're like, crap, I have to buy 2 cars, you know? It's the life stuff that I think you do a really amazing job helping people navigate through and feeling comfortable with. And so I just wanted to encourage you to talk about those things because I don't think that people understand that you can help them plan for the pool that they want to build in their backyard, or that hardscaping project, you know, to build the garden of their dreams with the gazebo and the uplighting, or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah, really at the root of what I do is that I'm having conversations with people to understand what their goals are, what their dreams are, what their problems are, you know, things that they're trying to overcome. And we're really just having open conversations. And based upon the conversation and where it goes, then I can provide some, you know, expert insight into maybe how we should navigate however this conversation is heading. Like, you know, if we're looking to solve a problem, hey, here are some of the options that are available to solving that problem, and talking through it to really understand who they are as a person and what their habits are. And through doing that allows me to help them much better as far as helping them determine what option is best suitable for who they are as an individual. But a lot of it, like I said, like obviously you have, you know, all the financial jargon in the background that comes with it, all the financial strategies, all that information, all that financial literacy that comes with it. But really at the end of the day, what it is having a conversation with someone and taking all that part out of it, because a lot of people don't understand that part. So really what I want to do is just have a conversation and understand who you are as a person and how can I help you?
Yeah. And how do they want their money to work for them?
Yes.
Right. I think one of the other things that I think you do a really nice job of is you remind people that you all have a strategy. You've put a strategy in place aligned to their individual and specific goals. And sometimes, I know for a lot of your clients, you also have to encourage them to then spend the money, right? Like,
Yes.
No, you have a vacation budget and you're not using it. Have you planned for that vacation? And then having to hold people's hands to say, no, we have planned for this. All of your pieces are in place. Go take the vacation, go relax, go have fun. You've earned it. You've planned for it. It's part of the strategy. Go do that.
Yeah. I mean, specifically what you're talking about is that I do have a couple of clients, and they're not just clients, they're very close friends of ours as well. But we've been working together for over a year now, and I know them personally, but then also just through having the conversations that traveling is very important to them. It is one of their value adds. And so one of the things I want to make sure of is that we carve out a portion of their budget to be putting away money on a monthly basis so that towards traveling. And then, having a trip come up that we would, we're taking a trip. We wanted them to come with us, and we opened it, the invitation up to them. And they were like, oh, yeah, we have a travel budget because we put it in place.
Yes.
So just reminding people of, like I said, the plan that we have in place so that when these opportunities come up for things that you want to do that do add value to your life, you have the money to do it. Mm-hmm. Because the money isn't the focus. The focus initially is, what do you want your life to look like? And it's then using the tool of money to create that life.
Yeah. But I think, too, when it comes to just the topics, right? It's not always something big. It's, hey, my kid's going to need braces in the next 2 years, and I think they're going to be in braces for a long time. I mean, that's a conversation we even have about our daughter.
Love our daughter to death, and she is a beautiful little lady, but she's
going to need some orthodontia work. Yeah.
Her teeth are going to need some work.
Yes. And so I'm like, ooh, we should have a high yield savings account for that. But it's the real life stuff, right? Of, hey, we want to build out our closet. We want to do some landscaping. We want to take these trips. We want to, help our parents in some sort of a way, or help celebrate a milestone birthday.
I mean, I could think of so many different things that I've been helping out clients with lately. One being, we kind of mentioned earlier, is like, I have a client, they're expecting their first child in June, which is an amazing, a milestone, an amazing, time of your life, but it's also very stressful.
And very expensive.
As far as figuring out, one, how much is it going to cost to actually have this delivery? How much is daycare going to be? Just so many other aspects, do I have, proper maternity leave? If I don't have proper maternity leave, how am I going to supplement that income that I otherwise would have had coming in while I'm not working? Mm-hmm. So, I have a client that we had to work through that, and we're still in the process of kind of determining some of the details, but we had to work through not having a full 12-week maternity leave, only had a 6-week maternity leave, then determining if her short-term disability policy was going to cover that. And if it was going to cover that, that time period of being out for maternity leave, at what percentage of her income? Is it going to be enough, So really looking into the benefits package again, and understanding, here's my benefits package, here's my spouse's. How long before we do have to put this little baby into daycare? Do we have family support? What is my paycheck going to look like at 60% versus 100%? I mean, all of those things matter. Yeah. And I really like working with the demographic that I work with because, one, some of the things that, some of my clients are a little bit younger are going through, I have already gone through.
We've learned our lessons.
We're currently in the process of going through it as well. So I'm not just speaking from a hypothetical standpoint. Mm-hmm. When it comes to having, the conversation, thinking of all the expenses that come with having a kid, we have two. I've been there through it. So, having clients and saying hey, have you already, got on a daycare list? Because that's going to be, an issue.
Don't
and then also,
wait on that.
Even just thinking through the first year or two of paying for daycare, that there's going to be some breaks because the most expensive for daycare is going to be when they're an infant. And as they grow and get a little bit older and go into the other rooms, you're going to have a little bit more wiggle room because the amount that you're paying on a monthly basis is going to go down. Just conversations like that most people don't think that a financial advisor necessarily helps you out with. That's what I'm helping you with. Anything and everything that has some type of money aspect tied to it, I can have some form of a conversation, or I can refer you to another expert who can dive deeper in that scenario.
Or also, oops, we went from 2 kids to 3 kids. That wasn't planned. And now we need to upgrade our car because, we have a booster seat and are going to have 2 car seats and that car doesn't accommodate that. I mean, there's so much that like you said, it just any part of your life that money touches, Brandon helps with. He talks about.
I had a conversation 2 weeks ago with a client. They were leasing a car, and the car dealership that they were leasing through was offering them, a newer lease. And so it's does it make sense to do that? So we went through all the different areas of the lease, determining whether or not it makes sense to do this from a monetary standpoint, or does it make more sense just to stay in their current lease? So that's one thing that I helped out with.
And that's something we've been through.
Yes.
With our first Atlas during COVID, the dealership every week was like, we want to buy your car. We want to buy your car back. And, we had to run the numbers to see if it made sense. And for us, it ended up making sense. But again, it's a part of your life that money touches. And so your clients will schedule time to be like, hey, I have this scenario. Or how much should I be spending on my engagement ring? Because I'm planning on getting engaged. I mean...
And one thing that I love is that I've built relationships with my clients where I am one of the first people they think of to come to when they have these decisions to make. Because like I said, in these scenarios, I do, periodic touch points just to check in on people that maybe I haven't spoken with. I try to do that on a regular basis, but sometimes things come up in between, and I would like them to reach out to me as soon as possible when those things come up. And thankfully, I've built a relationship where that happens. Like, I had a client who unfortunately was in a car accident. Thankfully, they were, everybody was safe. There was no injuries, and it happened one evening. They called me the next morning, to talk about it. Like, what are our options that we should go over in regards to buying a new car, buying a slightly used car, whatever it may be. But I help talk her through those options, and obviously send an email, and we'll be having conversation as far as what makes the most sense for their situation. Or even in a scenario where someone's looking to do a renovation on their home, what are the best options available to do in that renovation? Does it make sense to do the renovation? Is it a need or a want? Have we already started saving up money? Should we take out a loan, or should we take out a HELOC? Does it make sense to do it now, or does it make sense to wait? And sometimes with this environment now with tariffs, hey, maybe doing it now makes way more sense because the cost of goods are going to increase, in a few months from now, more than likely. So having those conversations with my clients, which I don't think are of top of mind for people thinking that, hey, my financial advisor helps me out with this.
I think one of the other things that's really important for us in our generation is starting to incorporate conversations with our parents. Now, we've done actual episodes on the sandwich generation, right? We're raising our own kids. Now kind of transitioning to making sure that our parents are okay in a lot of cases, in some cases moving our parents in. And so navigating how to actually have a conversation with their parents, maybe being the mediator to start the conversation, or at least outline, hey, here are the things that you should know about your parents' finances, right? Here are the documents that you should have access to. Here are the things that we should be looking at. You've had clients who've gone through, divorce and separation. Hey, we need to update your beneficiaries. Let's make sure that everything is up to date. And so I just wanted people to understand that any real world situation, things come at us, right? Do we put our kids in private school? Do we not? Can we get the membership to the fancy country club? Should we not? Whatever it is, these are the normal conversations that Brandon is having all the time with his clients because it's money that touches their life.
Yeah,
and that's what a good financial advisor does. They advise on all the aspects of your life, not just your stock portfolio.
Yeah, obviously we're going to talk about your investment portfolios because that's part of the financial plan. But in all honesty, on the majority of the conversations that I'm having, that's a much smaller part. A big bulk of the conversations that I'm having on a regular basis are the ones that we're just talking about. Everyday life situations that involve some aspect of money.
And I think it's really amazing that you've built the relationships that you've had and that people aren't just like making moves, right? They're not just like, oh, I'm going to go and buy this engagement ring. No, let me talk to Brandon and see what makes sense. We've been planning for this. We've been strategizing. And then you've even given hey, this is where I bought Jess's ring and I had a great experience and I didn't feel like I was being pressured or try to, get upsold or, it's really, you are an advisor, but also a friend in that sense, I feel like.
And I also want to stress that I don't want people to reach out to me because I'm the end all be all the decision being made, because I don't make the decision. It's not my money and it's not my life. So I'm not the one that's making the decision. What I like to do is be that person there for my clients to help them talk through the options in a logical manner.
Yeah, without the emotion.
Yes.
Yes.
And then at the end of the day, they can go ahead and make that determination of what is best for them. So
Right.
one example I can use is, my client who unfortunately was in the car accident and they need to buy another car. They have enough money to buy a new car because they've spoke about like wanting to get a new car. They have saved up. They have adequate funds to do that. But I also know from their personality, they don't like having a car payment. So it's also thinking about that. So at the end of the day, it was having a logical conversation where like you have these options available to you and here are the pros and cons of each situation. All right. Now thinking about how you are as a person and what would be comfortable for you on a day-to-day basis. Which option do you think works best for you? Because at this point in time, it's not a matter of money per se, because they have the money to do all the options. Now it's thinking about from a behavioral standpoint and who they are as an individual, what option is going to give them most peace of mind.
And peace of mind is priceless.
Yeah.
We know that. Yeah. So I just thought this episode was important because you have so many meaningful, important conversations that don't have anything to do with the crazy finance stuff that I think people think about when they think about a financial advisor. And it really is navigating life's up and downs, life's expenses, the things that you find value in. How do you incorporate those into your life, with keeping in mind what is the long-term goal? What do your finances look like? What are you trying to achieve?
And having a balance.
And then having that balance
of enjoying life today, but also having a good plan in place so that you can also continue to enjoy life in the future.
Yes. And then, again, sometimes you have to push people to say, no, you can spend the money. You should spend the money. Don't forget we've been working towards this.
And sometimes I have to be that wall between them and doing something stupid.
Like moving money when they shouldn't be, because of course everybody's panicking of their portfolios plummeting, et cetera, and then reminding people that we are not retirement age yet. We don't need to be scared.
Yeah, sometimes having to talk them off the ledge. So there's a lot of things that I think there are a lot of good advisors out there that are doing what I do. I just don't think that a lot of people, that's not top of mind what they think of when they think of a financial advisor.
Yeah. One of the other just quick call outs, I know we've talked about it in a past episode, is you are now also helping people with debt reduction, because we know that debt can feel soul crushing and it can feel really hard to get from underneath that. And you really have to have a plan in place, a realistic plan in place. And
to clarify, I was helping people with debt reduction before, but this is a service that's more tailored to individuals that maybe are not a great fit right now for full financial planning and do need to focus primarily on that debt reduction aspect.
Right. So if that's of interest, you can reach out to Brandon. But if you're also ready to take that next step and do full financial planning and have that person that you can talk to about any and all things finance related as it relates to your life and your goals and your values, you can always reach out via Brandon's website. It's always in our show notes. And we hope this offered a little bit of insight into the things that Brandon does as a licensed financial advisor that maybe you didn't know he can help with. We'll talk to you soon.
Sugar Daddy Podcast, yo. Learn how to make them